Well, everybody, we have a fight and we have different opinions of who, what, where, how, and it's the Aboriginal fight against the Aboriginals, meaning that we were already here, and the people that's out of Africa situation, or that we came on slave ships, and that's how we got here, and all we're good for is slavery. Um, hmm. We have the Sinetas, which is saying out of Africa, but he comes from Panama. He's telling everybody. We have Dane Calloway that is saying that he has absolute proof that we was already here. We have Obama saying we are already here and we're Aboriginals here. We have the Pope saying Aboriginals here. We have Polite, Brother Polite saying that we were here, but most of us came from Africa, or we're all Africans. And we have Brother Jabari is saying that we come from Kemet, and we have the textbooks that are being sued now, saying that Christopher Columbus discovered America, and we're and he that we were not the Indians. So we have a lot of different say-sos, and we are having our grandparents saying that we are Indians and we have been indigenous here, and they don't know nothing about shit. So this is the fight tonight. So we're going to be having discussions on that, and we have a guest today, um, Mr. Ryan Willis. We're not really sure of his opinion. He said he's not going to give us any information until the show, but I'm not really sure what opinions he have or what scholarships he have or what scholarship he's going to bring forward. But he's been known to win a whole lot of debates on this situation. Um, he has some proclamations from Ron Emanuel or something. Anyway, so tonight is on ding 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 round one. So let me go get the opponent. He's suiting up for the discussion. So let me go get him. All right. Hold on. Say a little bit of something. All right. Let me go get him. We'll get the opponent. Mr. Brian Willis, are you coming in to talk? So we're breaking him in. You want me to talk about? Whether we're indigenous or we're indigenous or more. Period. Or do we talking about? Well, Thursday. Cool.
you the receipt.
All right. All right, ready in the king. Come on. Oh, without the king. Doom to the room, doom to the room, to the room, to the room, to the room.
The remorse indigenous period.
So welcome to the backstage of all of this. The fight between the Moors, I guess the indigenous people, the Aboriginals, and the out of Africa theory, of the slave ship theory, or the Christopher Columbus discovered America theory. So here's the fight for tonight. This is a very well renowned debater, scholar, one of the top valedictorian people from Antelope Valley College. He's very astute on reading books, and then he's also done a lot of research that kind of proves otherwise, that the books may be telling a lie. So here's his opinion. He says he's gonna hold it for y'all.
Okay, first, Little J wasn't invented until the year 1600, right? And Christ was supposed to be here a long time ago. So that's no lie. Second thing is, we were always here on the North American continent. There's so much so that Abraham Lincoln himself wrote a letter saying that there's so much swarthy, which means black African descent, so much swarthy in the land when they first got it. There's so much swarthy indigenous people. And you see, the thing is, they got Indians from India to come over here to pose as indigenous Americans.
Whoa, stop. You said they had bought Indians from India to and shipped them here and posed as the Indians that we see them in the books and in textures and in traditional Europe, the Indian style. Oh, that's a new knife. I've heard that somewhere before. I read that. But go ahead. Sorry.
It's crazy. See, the thing is, right now, all the so-called African Americans, which are Moorish Americans, they own 48 trillion dollars in wealth and assets belonging to the United States, and as well as South America.
Mhm.
So as you can see, it would be very advantageous for anyone, not just a Neanderthal, anyone, to try to take over, scheme, haiku. But what we gotta do is we have to get all the indigenous Moors in their right mind.
When you said indigenous Moors, what is a Moor?
A Moor, the Moors were the original people that built the pyramids.
Really? Okay. You heard it here first. Fight news.
The Moors is one of the 12 tribes of Israel.
Okay.
The Moors, the Moors help cultivate the world as you know it, society, civilization, civilized, medicine, all the advancement in technology, all the advancement in medicine, all the advancement and agricultural is due to the Moorish impact on this world.
So, where are you getting your scholarship from?
I get my scholarship from various sorts of universities. I normally I normally search with the Google search in Google, and from time to time I search with Google.scholar.
Okay.
Only verified sources, of course.
Hmm.
Um, I've been doing 7 years of research.
Hmm. Has it been all on Google or is it
It's been through books, it's been through websites, it's been through
publications?
publications, it's been through firsthand accounts.
Some people were throwing around some proclamation from Ron Emanuel that left the White House, and that proclamation is in Chicago. If I'm not mistaken?
Yes, Chicago. He's the mayor. Ron Emanuel is the mayor of Chicago, and he put out a delegation stating that the Moors are here. The Moors are here and are illegally being conquested by illegals, by mercenaries, by erroneous entities.
So when you say Moors, because a lot of people don't understand Moor, or because it seems like Moor has been here for a long time, but the African Americans or the colored people or the black people uh, are now coming to the understanding that this Moor just means melanated people, or is it a Pacific melanated people? Is if was the pharaohs and the people from Egypt Moors, or did they call themselves Moors? Or because this word Moor has been thrown around a lot lately. I don't know if that's because of the Freedom of Information Act, but try to tell our viewers where where did this Moor thing come from? How did it come here? It was a Noble Drew Ali or something, and it's also in the Constitution. A lot of people don't know. I mean, I'm asking you because you are pretty knowledgeable on this topic.
Well, Moors are from the country Morocco. We are a Pacific tribe.
From Morocco, the kingdom,
Moroccan Kingdom, Morocco Empire, Africa. We
Morocco Empire, Africa. I never heard about the Morocco Empire, Africa. What is that? Where is that?
okay. Morocco Empire, Africa is in both America and in Africa. It's one. If you look at the continents, you'll see that America looks identical, and South America looks identical to Africa,
Okay, except for the heat.
except in heat. But in some places in America, you have the same heat.
Really? Oh. Okay,
Mhm.
so from what I'm hearing, there is a Morocco kingdom in Africa, but it is uh, basically of non-melanated people. And there was a such thing as Morocco Empire Africa here in America. America used to be called Morocco Empire Africa. It was the empire of the whole entire diaspora from here and in Africa. Or some my other I had another scholar come and say that, but this is the second time I'm hearing another person identifying that this particular land, United States, was called Morocco Empire Africa.
Yes, and I mean to say by that is, you see now that that satellite country in Morocco, Africa,
Hmm.
has been it's kind of like Syria. It's been taken over by mercenaries.
Mercenaries. Okay.
Okay, those people are not of the original land. They are inhabitants
Mm.
of the land, but they're not indigenous to the land.
Hmm.
They're not Aboriginals.
Okay. So okay. So what? So by us being okay. So your fight in your dog in this fight is saying that this was Morocco Empire Africa, not Morocco Kingdom Africa, because a lot of people were saying no, no. And when they look up the word Morocco Kingdom, it's taking you back to Africa. But when you punch up Morocco Empire Africa America, then it shows this diaspora. And you're saying that because this was Africa and changed into just America as a corporation, there was no slave ships, but yet we were taken out of our natural people of being Moroccan uh, Empire Africa descent people into being um, just Americans. So we lost our title for being African, but we got it back again. But now we're referencing to the Africa that's way across there, and we're not referencing that we are indigenous here.
Well, yes, in a sense. You see, what happens is when you drop a big rock into a fountain,
Hmm.
the ripples will change the current.
Okay.
Okay, so when that happened, it changed the current of our culture.
Oh.
It changed the current of our realities.
Mm.
So, in order to bounce back, we have to throw the rock, in a sense, in the fountain a different way to counteract that current and to get back on track.
So you're saying to kind of leave the out of Africa place and to drop the ball back to where we originally were. From what I'm hearing, back in the day, the African American colored people, whatever you want to call it, we were actually getting stifling every year to the tune of $50 million for the foreigners to be on our land. But we have since then, and there's a treaty of peace and friendship or something. Um, I've heard that monies have actually been given, but back then to us for our land. So there's like another clue as to this may be true. And then in the Constitution, I also read where it also stated that we were Moors and that we would have to go out of our way not to be the owners and to take any responsibility for this country. We would have to go out our way. And from what I'm hearing from the other scholar that was here a couple weeks ago, he said that because we're out of our traditional constitutional fold, this is why a lot of the stuff is still happening in us because we're not citizens. We're American state citizens, I think he said. And that we were indigenous here. And that America owes us for being on the land because they will always be foreigners here on our land. And because we've taken the construct of not understanding that this was Morocco Empire Africa and just saying that this was America and we're a citizen, meaning we're a foreigner to a land and not the Aboriginals here, we lost a lot of rights and everything else. And as long as we continue to stamp paperwork or documents stating that we are American uh, citizens or black and all that, then we lose our membership, even as foreigners, because we can't be two. We can't be indigenous and foreigners at the same time. He was elaborating on that. So you're coming to say that you totally agree with the Aboriginal side of it, and not so much as the slave ship side.
Okay, so understand that any logical person will see that, look, it is not, okay, in today's time, right?
Yeah.
If you have a company, right, in Brazil, right, that's where the company is at. Who are the workers you think they're gonna hire? In what country?
Say it again.
If you have a company, right,
Yes.
in Brazil,
Hmm.
and this new company just opened up, and they're looking to hire people,
Hmm.
what country do you think they're gonna look to hire people?
Their own people.
Right in their own country, right?
Yes.
Okay, so do you see you see a company stationed in America trying to get people from China to come over here for the jobs? Just Chinese people.
No.
No, but you do see them going to the country and putting down a company there
Oh.
for them. Okay, so to say we came from slave ships, you have 2.5 billion people in Africa. There's your slaves right there. You set up base right there.
Okay.
You don't set up base way somewhere else. Transporting. I mean, like, okay, look. Even today's time, the fuel, the gas, right?
Hmm.
Think back then, they didn't have fuel. They didn't have a limited supply of food.
Hmm.
It's not even costing money; it's costing lives back then. Okay,
Hmm.
they're not gonna risk that. They're not gonna. The risk is too great, and it's greater than the gain.
Okay. So let me just hear this. Well, it looks like we're having technical difficulties here. So we'll be back another day. But we have another one for this is Morocco Empire Africa, and we're indigenous here. Peace out. Sorry. All right. Hmm? Hmm?
Go ahead.